Okay, so as you know in the last video, I've been having a hell of a time. Hey, best stuff's made in China. Not. But it's cheap. So anyway, I know everyone was saying, hey, you need a big 1-inch Milwaukee impact, and I really do. But that is that's a pretty pricey item, and I'll try and save my pennies for that. So eventually we'll get one. But for now, I was thinking we could maybe try a torque multiplier, is what the fans were suggesting. So I bought this off Amazon. I don't know, it was 60, 70 bucks, something like that. So there's the square bud lug impact. So that goes on there, the old 21 millimeter. And then this is, you know, I can't afford a proper power tool, so I'm going to use Okay, so there we go with the square bud lug that goes on there, or the socket. And then this guy goes like so. And supposedly you got a hand crank here. And when you start cranking the way you want to go, the reaction arm goes the other way. So we'll put it something like this. I still can't believe a hand tool is going to work in this case, but we'll try and go by it like that. There. All right, here we go. Now it's turning. Yeah, there we go. Holy shit. Unreal. Look at that. I broke a breaker bar trying to get these things unstuck with heat and a 1-inch electric impact. And a simple hand tool takes it off. Okay, worth every penny of the 60 bucks I paid for it. I would recommend everyone have one of these in the back of their truck, because that is the mintiest tool I've ever seen. Who would have thought that a little bit of hand twisting could get that off of there? Unreal. Okay, well now we'll try the tool out on everything else and hopefully take these off of here without too much trouble. Okay, you do get what you pay for. The torque multiplier is awesome. It's geared right up and it really works as designed. But the cheap metal socket is starting to get rounded out. I don't know if you can see that there. So what I might have to do is go get a proper 21 mil square socket, a quality one that won't just get chewed up like that, because it's starting to round off the corners because it's putting so much torque to it. You'd think the tool would be designed to, the sockets would be designed to hold the maximum torque, but for 60 bucks, what do you really expect? So you might want to invest in a more expensive one, but still, that is got to be one of the slickest tools I've ever seen. Right on. So I've always made the point that I'm no expert in anything, and I'm kind of learning as I go on this thing. But I wanted to give a quick PSA and let folks know that what I was doing last week with the torch on there. Now, luckily, it was just a plumber's torch and it wasn't throwing a lot of heat. But if I had actually had a proper oxyacetylene and I had put heat to these, that is a dangerous thing to do. And some of the guys in the comments were making that point, because you can transfer the heat from there through the rim into the air in the tire, and then you can actually expand that and have a blowout and have this tire come right at you. So word of the wise, don't be throwing heat there unless you actually take the valve stem out and let all the air out of the tire. So it's a good tip there. I appreciate it. Again, learning as I go. So thanks again to the folks that know a lot more than me and sharing their knowledge. So unfortunately, since that square socket is kind of stripped out, I'm just going to take the outer nuts off these two wheels and get them off of there. So I'm starting to get the knack of this thing. Put the socket on, and you just kind of adjust so it fits in there. And then turn the way you want to go, in this case loosening because we're on the passenger side of the truck. And then you just crank. And there she goes. Like butter. Who would have thought a hand tool would take these things off of there after all the hammering I was doing on it last weekend. And I know I need a Milwaukee 1-inch battery powered deal. Right now all I got is this hand-me-down electric, but you make do with what you have. Yeah. Look at that, best one yet. Interesting. That's a first. I've never had the bud socket come out. That is an interesting deal there. So yeah, this is supposed to hold the the inner wheel in. So obviously what happened here was either the bud stud got rusted out and downsized so it come through the hole, or the hole in the wheel got rusted out. But that shouldn't come out like that, but that's okay because we're not going to reuse these wheels or these studs. So again, that's a first, but I'm glad it's out. All right, so now that the wheel's off the truck, I wanted to give a quick demonstration here. So this particular guy got captured, so if I wanted to separate this out, I could use the pork chop. This is that wheel lock, and like some guys call it a pork chop because it's kind of the shape. So you just put it on like that. This is the wrong size, I got to get a different one, but you get the idea, and it holds it against the wheel, and you could back out the center bud there if this is stud. So that one's captured, and this is the hole this guy came out of. So as you can see, that's not holding much of anything. Now I don't believe it's the wheel dimension. I mean, this wheel's got 40 years of rust on it from salty Alberta roads in the winter. But here's a newer stud. When you put it in there, it actually holds. So I don't believe it's the wheel that's the problem. It's the stud that's just worn out. So I guess good advice is to, if you're going to restore one of these old trucks, is to get all new studs and all new nuts, which is what I'm going to do in this case. So next I'm going to focus my attention to the hood. I'm going to start taking apart all the chrome, take the grill out, because of course I have that other hood available, so that we're going to put on here. So it's just a bunch of little 7/16 nuts. And one thing I learned from the Peterbilt project is, as you take stuff apart, make sure you put it in good containers, marked out, and stored properly. So when you go to put the truck back together, it's a hell of a lot easier to find the stuff. So this time I bought a whole bunch of these little Home Depot buckets, and we'll just make sure that we put the goodies in the right spot. Like I say, lock it down, and then we know how to put it back together. So with this, I wish I'm gonna have had an extra set of hands, because I'm gonna have to put a wrench on each of these nuts all the way up, and then come around underneath and unscrew them. That's gonna be a bit of work. We'll take the grill out first. I'm thinking if I can get the grill out, and then I can get at it from the outside to get all these guys. So we'll just pick away at this and get it on out of there. Okay, I think this thing's finally ready to come out of here. Unfortunately, I couldn't take just the center grill out, because I think these the winter front little twisties are riveted on there, which holds it all together. So I had to take every single bolt off, which was no small task, but I think she's ready to come off of here. There's one. Oh, put that one in to hold it. Come on. Almost. There's that. And there's this. Oh, and then down it comes on your head. Okay. Oh, one Kenworth Grille. Put her down. Okay. Oh, look at that. It appears that this truck was originally a big green machine. Or at least the hood, anyway. So yeah, she was green at one point in time. A god-awful ugly green. Well, it's going to be coffee black eventually. Just taking a look at the grill here. And the grill bars are in good shape. They're still shiny. And the grill itself, I think a guy could just clean it up and paint it silver or something. But the sides are pretty rusty. I don't think an SOS pad's going to get that out. And then the top, just the years kind of got to it and the chrome's peeled up. So I think I'm gonna have to keep staying on the hunt for a new top and new sides. But that's a ways away. Maybe I'll find a decent one at a junkyard, or I don't know if they do remans of these. They probably do. Or I wonder about getting a local chrome plating place and just have them dipped. Anyway, there's options. We'll get her looking sharp again. I was just taking a look at the pull handle here, and it looks like it had Canadian red on it at one point. And as you can see, steel and aluminum never mix well together. So that guy is just completely corroded. So I'll probably zip cut it off and then drill it out on the drill press to save this tab. But what was interesting was the fact that, I was just looking at the wording, I don't know if you can see it there. It says November 1972. So this piece would have went on a 1973 model truck because it was the end of 72. And look right here, it says gold. So I wonder if I've actually got a 73 pull handle that was gold at one time. Either way, I'll just get some gold paint and then I'll paint the black bars and the circle and the KW, and we'll make it look like the movie. But that's pretty neat. Could actually be a legitimate gold one. Well, now I can fit in here a lot better. So these are the louvers. So what these do is these snap closed when the motor's cold to allow it to warm up quicker, and then as it warms up, they flip open. So it's kind of like your automated winter front. And I was just looking here, and it's actually air operated. That's kind of cool. So I wonder if it's just a thermal switch or you can override it in the cab. Might be what one of those toggles is for, but yeah, that's cool to clean this all up and paint it. But one step closer to getting the hood off. So the way I think this comes off of here is these can't move. Obviously you can't slide these out. So I'm thinking it's just these bolts there. And looking closer at it, the bushings are just totally shot. So I have to go to my focus. I have to go to my local Kenworth dealer and get some new guys there. Rubber bushings are probably polyurethane now. So yeah, you can take the bolts off on both, and then I should be able to take the hood off. I think that maybe what I'll do is I'll just finish taking out the headlights and the little marker lights and the Kenworth emblems, and then maybe just tip it back down to keep the motor covered up from the elements just until I'm actually ready to make the swap. So I'll get those bushings first. And then I probably want to do the, a quick rattle can rebuild on this motor and paint it up. I was thinking of going with, kind of the newer red Cummins paint, but then that's not really proper for the year. So maybe I'll go with this kind of creamy colored. Still haven't decided yet. I think red would look pretty sharp. Tell me what you think. So I'm just exploring alternatives to sandblasting because I gave the sandblaster back, the one that I used on the Pete, to to the owner of the peat, previous owner of the peat that loaned it to me. And I could get a third party to come in and just blast this whole thing, but I'm wondering if I could save a little money by doing it myself. So I've just been doing some wire wheeling, and that'll get it down to the bare metal. I just don't know how much that's going to take to actually clean the whole thing up. But yeah, just kind of working away here and trying to figure out the cheapest, best way to do it. So that gives you an idea. It actually goes pretty quick. Of course, that's the easy part, nice flat top. Now there is some corrosion and pitting on the frame there. Maybe I'll try and go in for a closer look. But that's just from years and years of salt eating away at it. I wonder if a guy could almost fill that if he really wanted to make it smooth. But I'm just gonna go with flat black, prime it, and go with flat black just like the movie. So anyway, it's a thought. Try and get the old mufflers off. See if I can save the crossover pipe. Oh man, solid rust in there. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, air plugs in all that dirt followed. There she goes. Okay, I wonder. Back up there. Gotta untie my rope now. The top of these is held on with, I don't know, it almost looks like a tire material or something originally, and it was just all dry rotted, so the top mount was already broken, so I knew as soon as that let go that the whole thing would fall off. So I tied it up. Okay, come on. And I do want to save these, the heat shields, because they match the movie, but everything else I just can go. Oh, heavier than they look. All right, one down, one to go. Oh. So as you can see, they don't match. So somewhere along the way, this guy was replaced with probably just an aftermarket heat shield. I don't know, maybe the original one got dented or something. So I guess on the hunt, on future episodes, I got to keep a lookout for another heat shield that looks like that. So, fun. Just warming up old Blue to go for a nice evening ride. So before I do that though, I took and checked the mail, and I did get a package today off of eBay. Let's open this up. I think I know what this is. Addition to Project Snowman. Oh, look at that. Unisonic 790 RM. Does it work? Probably needs batteries. Yeah. Double A's. But look at that. That is an exact copy of the movie. Ugh. Oh, that's perfect. It's gonna go something like that. Right in there. And then old Jerry Reed would tap away on it, and he'd do his calculations to figure out how much time they had and how far ahead of schedule they were. Mint.
Spider-Man, are you out there? Come back. Snowman, how we doing, son? Come on back.
Hang on just a minute and I'll tell you. Looks like we're about 28 minutes ahead of schedule. Come back?
I hate to say I told you so.
Well, now don't lose your head, son. We still got a lot of boogieing to do.